Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kai-Fi. I'm glad you're here. If you are new, welcome. This is a Kai-Fi Theory. If you are returning, what's good? I got something new for you. And I got a message that'll probably shock you. If you saw the title of the reading, then you'll probably, you know where we are already. But this is the Zin-Finity Board, and it is an elementally energetic grid that flows on a 21-part circuit, housing all aspects of the mind in a still life fashion. So what does that mean? Imagine your life on pause, and then you can see a menu. This is the menu. So as you know, as above, so below. So this is the mind, so below. The mind as above is for you, but this is the one I was able to capture the image of. So we put cards on this board the same way as traditional tarot does it, but it's with a flip to it. This is going to be known as the masculine approach to tarot. And there's so many reasons. I'm going to be creating an app with this concept in mind. And if you like this content, like, share, and subscribe, and I can get that to you in a timely manner. You know what I mean? This is what I'm here for. So I have a new style of reading, but it has the same name. I changed it up and how it should run. I apologize for my heat, right? But you know, you got to stay warm. It's going to be a Zin-Finity UniverSol reading, right? But it has to do with the universal laws. You know how they say anything you say can be done, used against you in the court of law. Now imagine that God's laws, universal laws, has a court, and that's this realm in general. So this realm is governed by universal laws. We're gonna put cards on these laws, and I have a few more. I have 4 more laws, but in an extra part of the reading. But I have a few laws to go over, but we're going to start over. We're going to start with just an explanation of what it is in general. So the first law is mentalism, right? Then the second law is duality, which we have the light and the dark side, being our hokmah of the third eye, right? Then you have vibration, which is these 3 pieces, but it's vibration, frequency, and energy. Thank you, Tesla. Appreciate you. Then we have polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and then generation. Now that was 7 of them. There's probably way more than that, but I have, what is it, 11, 12 in total. So yeah, but the next one, the 8th general universal law, is care, and that has to do with this big circle right here. So all circle spheres are feminine. This image right here, masculine. So those two have a union in itself. So you can see how this is lined up. And without further ado, let's get this started. So the first part is the downloads, right? Over these last 2 weeks, I got sick, and I was asking God, what is it all for? Because right before I got sick, I was about to get on a run. I was about to go hard on the channel, and then next thing you know, I wasn't even in shape to. So I said, okay, this is unfair, but there's a reason. Obviously, naturally, all the readers that I listen to in general were telling me that there's a reason. So if you're going through something that you can't understand the reason for, keep listening. It has to do with love. So the message was, stop trying not to love that person. Who is anybody to tell me to stop trying not to? They've put me, you know, everybody goes through things, but I've been through something where I was put through, you know, in my opinion, some hard times. And then after that, God tells me, in the middle of this whole sickness, he says, I was getting into a funk, and I said, I don't know if I'm able not to love that person. I said that to God. And then God said, I didn't want you to. And then there was a dead silence in my mind. I couldn't have another thought. I was trying to figure out, like, okay, you didn't end. There was something else that's supposed to be after that. Nope. I didn't put him there for you to get over at all. I put them there to expand your heart. So I say, okay. because I met this person, I wanted to be a better me. And that's an ambition. That's actually a catalyst to my own growth. So past all the emotions and all the feelings, that person that was brought into your life was a catalyst for your growth. You know, people say, I'm not even the same person I was when I first met you. And you make that as like that's their fault and it's a bad thing. Why do you think it's a bad thing? You're more prepared for what? There's an overview. There's somebody above everything that's looking down on all of these things and saying, okay, cool, you're going through this, you learned this, you're going through this, you learned this. But we don't really know all of our lessons until it comes up to the time that we say, oh, I didn't know I was prepared for this, right? So this is what this is about. Stop trying not to love that person, because you are literally regretting the growth in your heart that it took to get to this point. So before you met this person, let's just say your heart was smaller. You know, you have a big heart or whatever, but it was smaller than it is right now. Now, that vast expansion of what your heart can encompass, the new feelings, the new love, the new self-love, that's where the energy wants to go. But the thing is, me, but I'm talking to my community right now, we are so basically in tune with finding a person to give this energy to invest in, instead of trying to invest in yourself, because it's such an abundant amount of energy that was let go of the situation. Right now you're separated, now you're let go of the situation, you have all of this abundance of love waiting to go to a source, waiting to go to an outlet, and that outlet was that person. So now what is it? If you find a way to give that to yourself, if you find a way to ingest that energy, you turn it all into potential and you claim it, and the enemies around you will stop coming around you so frequently because you're not like an open vessel. So imagine you're like openly bleeding, but it's spiritual, and it's all the love that you are trying to hold in for the new beginning that you have right now. So it's all for a purpose, but what purpose is it for? So that's basically the downloads, right? That was basically the message of this reading. But we're going to get to the first part, which is, I call it Prima Materia. And I'm going to have all the explanations on the screens to, help you out with the explanation of what's going on. What we're doing in this reading is taking the energy from the crown, the tree of life, to the root and back up to the crown as best as possible. Why? Because it creates a complete circuit and it unblocks all the channels of energy that was there before. It could be in your mind, it could be your body, soul, or spirit. And we're going to get down to it right now. So this part of the reading is about Prima Materia, and it's about the who, what, when, where, and why of the situation. So 1, 2, 3. So this came in this order. Working through your fears in the place of the fire, the emanation, right? The world of emanation. Confidence is your key to success when it comes up to your world of creation, right? That's the water energy or water signs. So that's fire energy, fire signs, water signs. These are air signs. Conclusions are within reach. So a conclusion within your mind is in reach in regarding the air signs. And for the earth signs, I like that. No, this one is okay. A time to give rather than take. So a manifestation is a gift to yourself, and that just came up. So that comes from nothing into something. So that's something that you create from your spirit, use your mind to formulate how it's going to have this existence in your world and give energy to it, creating that space, that new void in your heart with the new space that you have from not being able to love that person anymore, or not being able to give that energy to a person no more. You give it to your manifestation. So you can gift yourself with what you've been through. So that's who, what, when, where, and let me get why. Alright, 2 cards came out. It said communication is key, and this is the new moon in Gemini, and look at the bigger picture. So in regards to who, working through your fears, new moon in Scorpio. Time to let go of a grudge you're holding on to. Move on from jealousy. Stop being obsessive. Could it be you're paranoid? Could it be that you're paranoid? Make an investment and basically the affirmation is have some sexy time. So that's physical, spiritual, and mental. So you have to understand what that means. Spiritual union and mental union, connections and things like that, is a form of relations, right? So that's where that stands. So that's who. But since we're talking about who, is the person that you want to have sexy time with, or that wants to have sexy time with you, right? As I said before, I apologize for the heat, but you know, we gotta stay warm. In regards for what of the situation, right? We have a time to give rather than a take. This is the earth energy. New moon in Virgo. Now it says gradual improvements are coming. Pay attention to the detail if you want success without being pedantic. I don't even know what that means, but if that's for you, that's for you. So be of service to others, be of service to love, and money will follow. I had to say that in a different way because you know they ain't right. The person you're asking about is reliable. But this is about what? It's not necessarily a person. It's about an energy. But there are masculine and feminine energies in our manifestation. So there's some things that nurture, and then there are some things that get you ahead. Get you up the stairs, you know, get you to make that first step. So the next step is when. So this is a tricky one because a lot of people want to know, when is my blessings coming? When is this gonna happen? I'm tired of waiting. The patience that you want me to have, I have, God, I think. So why am I not ready yet? God does not give you any blessings that you cannot keep, because imagine losing the blessing that you're asking for. That's more detrimental, and you would honestly want to do something different with your life when it comes to losing that blessing that you're asking for. So even though you're asking for these things, you have to be prepared to maintain it. And the maintenance of the is maintaining the love required for it. Love is movement. It has nothing to do with what we think love is about. I give you flowers and it moves you. Now you have a potential to do something for me in the same sense. So romance is dead, but it is a purpose, and it has a purpose for potential. You keep that potential up in a relationship, and you guys will always want to do things for each other, because the 8th general principle in the world is compound interest. So when you give energy to somebody and they're willing to give back to you, it comes back to you in a greater amount. So, you know, you ping with somebody for a very long time, you know, these friendships, these relationships that you have, people wonder why you're so strong with it, because you've been through this. Sometimes you can just remember that the person wants to do that for you, and it's the same potential, and you remember and you nurture and take care of that person. So how does that fit for you? The next card up is confidence is your success. Confidence is your key to success, and this is where. All places when it involves where is within your spiritual world, right? That's the where. That's inside of you. The universe lives inside of us. The universe is inside of us, right? So confidence is your key to success. New moon in Leo. That's where. So it is time for you to show the world what you've got. Shine your light. Have some pride. Spoil yourself. You've earned it. That's important. You've turned someone's head. You've got attention from something that you want. Their blessings are looking at you. Where? Because you're nurturing yourself. Because you nurture, you become attractive to the thing that you want when you nurture your body, and your body becomes more of that antenna to it. The spiritual world is magnetic. So when you give to the spiritual world, you become more magnetic. That's that. Affirmation for right now is make time to have fun. So spoiling yourself is very important, because God wants you to recognize that you've grown. So if you think that you're in a stagnant period, you won't consciously think that you're making it in any sort of sense. So how would you go about doing anything with that? Sometimes you have to have a good anchor. God needs to send you an anchor. So an anchor is on the way. Something is going to be sent to you that you're going to embody. It's going to be a part of you. So the next cards are about why. The why of the situation is honestly the most important question in the world, because why am I here? That's the reason why you even get up in the morning and go through all of these things that you're here for right now. So why is looking at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius, and communication is key, the new moon in Gemini. So let's get this. So the situation may have come around because you've been distracted. Be confident without being overconfident to win the day. Now that's the ego. Overconfidence is with the ego. Now I got this and I don't need spirit and I don't need God. No, I got this. Y'all could take a seat. No. Walk with God. Humble yourself. Therefore the blessings will stay with you because you're still magnetic. Having too much ego, you polarize and push it away. You understand that? So looking at the bigger picture, have you shown that you care? If not, now is the time. Find the balance between speaking your mind and saying too much. And the affirmation for that card is take time out for a mini break or an adventure. Right, so the next card for why is communication is key, and that's in the new moon in Gemini. Right, a time to tell someone how you feel. Don't be all in your head and not in your heart. Someone is flirting with you. Read more books. Write a list of all, this is the affirmation, write a list of all the people you love most and see if you're prioritizing them. Now, that's very important because your love is movement, is your, how much can you move in this world? What can you do? Your capabilities. That's all the love that you can give to yourself or other people or to, your job and things like that. It's the embodiment of all the things that you can move towards. That's the scale of your love. How many things can you do? So it's saying, don't be all in your head and not in your heart. So in your head, it's just over here when it comes up to the consciousness. This right here is your spirit, right? Your head is basically what fills the heart space. That's your consciousness, is what fills the heart space. Right, so don't be all in your ego trying to figure out the fantasy of things, because the fantasy is not the true dream. Instead, you know how they say have a head over heart decision? No, have a heart over head decision, because your heart is connected to the spirit and you can consciously see that. So that's why you need to use and go with your heart, because the heart is more attuned to where you're balanced. You're always going to go towards balance, right? Yeah. So that is Prima Materia. That is basically the who, what, when, where, and why of the situation. Now you have a scale and a scope of what we're going to talk about. So as I said before, we're going to start off with what crowns the reading, bringing in the energy from the crown to the root, unblocking all the channels, and then bringing that energy back up in positivity. So we're going to get to it right now. So this is going to be the first law of the reading, and this is what crowns the reading. This is the King of Cups. Now usually you will want it to be fire, but it doesn't matter what crowns the reading. This is the energy that's talking right now, so it's more attuned to your feelings, right? Your feelings are the things that empower you to be who you want to be and become, right? So this is the King of Cups. Let's get it. But before I get there, as I said before, this is mentalism. Now mentalism is the first law and is guarded by the area of Pisces. So if this energy resonates with you, you are Pisces, or you're talking to one, or it has to do with one, this card is for you. So the King of Cups says compassion, control, and balance in the place of who you're going to be. So let's look at the Pisces really quickly. This is the difference between everything. Every sign has elements, and we're going to talk about the elements as we go along. So compassion, control, and balance with these elements. Let's get it. Pisces is, your perspective is IB. Your house is of secrets. Now, these are the things that come from you that you can decide to go on, to move towards, or whatever. These are your imaginations, and you have one of the best imaginations, or I should say your imaginations are tied with source the most, right? Your fuel is source in general, right? Source is outside of the circle in general. That's what powers this whole thing in the first place. So that's your fuel. Your fuel heats your house. So this is the oil for your house. The focus is the hangman. The power is the tool, the moon. So the focus and the power is the bow and the string. The power is the string, the bow is the focus. How good are you aiming, and how if you're gonna get there or not. You know, what's the power to get there or not? So that's the hangman and the moon for you. So the tool is who you are, your temple, right? Your temple power, the best power you have as a Pisces, is empathy, right? Why is that? Because you can see the whole scale of the situation. You sit in the middle when it comes up to the sway of the energy. So it's like you are tuned to have that higher perspective, right? So there's two types of senses. There's the conscience, the regular senses, and the clear senses. That's the spiritual senses. So your regular sense is temperature. You gauging the temperature of the room, feeling it in yourself, judging what it is within you, and the better you are able to do that, you judge within other people. But it's not just judging. Judging is just defining. After you define something, you can move on it or not. You can set what it means for you and how it's going to operate with you. So judgment is not a bad thing. That just defines it. Now you can move on. Now you don't have to think about it no more. That's the reason for judgment. It's done. It's solved, right? So that's temperature. Your clear sense is cognizance, right? Clear cognizance. Let's get that real quick. So clear cognizance is clear knowing, is experiencing sudden knowing. You know it to be true in your mind's eye, even though you did not see it, hear it, or it may be a stroke of insight, instant insight, or a download. So that's your power as a Pisces. So if you are dealing with a Pisces in your life, that's the thing that they do the best in this world, and it can help you. So what does it mean for you? So let's move on to the next energy. That was mentalism. The next energy is duality, right? So duality has to do with the light and the dark side of the tree of life, when it has to do with Hokmah and Bina. But the light side is the soul star chakra, the dark side is the earth star chakra. So there's two things when it comes up to duality that are in play at the moment. So let's get this light side and the dark side real quick. But the light side is Aquarius and the dark side is Capricorn. So let's get Aquarius first. Okay, so the Hermit and the Tower card came up, and that energy is on suit. The Hermit is on suit, and the Tower card is on suit. They're both, well, one of them is fire, one of them is earth, right? It can be fire, earth can be on this side, air and water can be on this side. It depends on what it is. But since these two came out, we're good. And what does that mean? The energy from the crown can go past the light side of the tree of life. So the energy is about to go all the way down to the root. So let's get these two cards really quickly. Well, actually, let's get Capricorn's cards so we can get a better determination of it. So the Ace of Pentacles, and that is off suit, and I'm gonna tell you what that means soon. Basically, now the energy from the crown stops at Capricorn, passes through Aquarius. So let's get these attributes really quickly. So Aquarius, the perspective is I want, the house is friendship, the fuel is wisdom, the focus is the fool, the power is the star, the tool is the intuition, the regular sense is balance, and the clear sense is clairsentience. So you can understand balance and balance for the word that it means. But the clear sense is clairsentience. Let's get that. Clairsentience is a clear physical feeling. You can actually feel the physical feelings in your body that others are experiencing. An example, if someone is having a stomach ache, you either feel pain or a sensation in your stomach too. You may also be able to feel emotional injuries where they may manifest in the body. So it's like you're empathetic so much to what somebody is actually feeling, you feel it too. So it's like a telepathic communication with the pain receptors. It's weird, right? So that's clairsentience. Naturally, you are fixed air, and the chakra is the soul star, right? So let's move on from there to what these two cards say, the Hermit and the Tower. These are both major arcana cards, and that's both love cards. When anytime that major arcana cards come out on this board, it means that something is being given to you, because everything else is energy within you. This is an overriding factor, right? So something is being sent to you to get you where you need to go, because that's what this soul star is all about. It's your crosshairs. It's basically what you want out of the situation, what you're going to go towards. So the Hermit. Contemplation, searching for truth and inner guidance. And let's get the Tower. Sudden upheaval, lost foundations, and disaster. The Tower moment, I newly understand it as the Tower was empty when you first built it, and you see higher when you first built it than before. You fill it up with the accomplishments that you can attain with the new vision, and then when the Tower is filled, you can't grow anymore. This is the reason for the Tower moment. The Tower has to come down, and that full Tower allows more materials to build a new Tower higher and better and stronger. And that's what the Tower moment is all about. So it was full, now it needs to be remade to handle the new situations. So you need to go within to feel that, to go to find out how you're going to get to where you want in the first place. So that's what that's all about. And that's Aquarius. Let's move over to Capricorn. Now Capricorn is I need. That's your perspective. The house is ambition. The fuel is understanding. The focus is the world. The power is the devil. The tool is intuition. The regular sense is also balance. You guys share the same thing, right? It's the dark side of balance. But dark is not negative. Dark is feminine. Light is masculine. This is spiritual. Has nothing to do with gender, right? The energy is above gender, right? So as a Capricorn, naturally you are a cardinal earth, and the chakra is the earth star. What's the difference between a cardinal and a fixed energy? A cardinal has to do with the perspective of the element. The fixed has to do with where it goes and how it nurtures the home. So the fixed energies do better in the home. The cardinal energies do better with the perspective above everything, right? Immutable has to do with the link between those two. So yeah, Ace of Pentacles for Capricorn. And this is off suit. It should be air or water here. Now, this is what you need, and you're not getting what you need because of a manifestation that you're waiting for from God instead of going towards it. Opportunity, prosperity, and new adventure. Right. You're waiting for that door to open. You're waiting for that path to show itself. Instead of, you know how if you can't contain the energy will come out in the path of least resistance, right? All you do is gather energy, and that's another way to find out where the flow is. It's going to be let go. Let's just say you have a balloon and you can't necessarily close the hole, but you can always put more air into it. Whichever way the air is flowing out is the path, but you wouldn't have known it unless you filled the balloon high enough, got better to find that path. That now you can see where the air is seeping out. You can see where to go. That's what that's about. But waiting for that to happen is just having faith but no action. So faith is important, and it does protect you. God is going to protect you, but you're going to be protected in peace. And peace is low vibrational. Let me say that again. Peace is low vibrational. Why? It's sediment. It doesn't move. You're at peace. If you move, you're in balance. It's with anything. When you walk, you have to use one leg, then the other leg. At peace, at rest, you're still. There's no growth happening in peace, but you are sane, you are protected, you are comfortable. And this is why many people don't want peace, they want problems. And that's why that quote is so funny to me now. We want problems. Capricorn in your energy, you want problems. It doesn't matter if you think it's negative towards you or against you. You cannot talk about anybody without talking about yourself, because it's coming out of you. You allowed it in through those channels. It's just being projected out of those same channels when you let it go. So be careful how you talk about people, because it's literally who you are. And if you're around people who like to talk about people, that's who they are. Now, the next cards up has to do with vibration. Now, vibration is 3 parts. Shout out to Tesla. Vibration, frequency, and energy. So this is the regular vibration, the experience that you inhabit, right? The frequency has to do with the spiritual attuning, right? The frequency, you tune the frequency in the radio, and then the energy, because you need energy to have the radio on in the first place, right? But this is how you change it. Well, this is how those three pieces fit with each other in the union. And when those three things are aligned, you create a good sound, and sound is in the middle. But let's do vibration, frequency, and energy really quickly. So I hope you understand that. Okay, 2 of Swords and 6 of Swords came out. And since this is on the bottom, I put this one here, and this is on the top. I put this one here. Let's just clear that really quickly. Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands. So let's see. The 6 of Swords and the 2 of Swords are on suit over here. So we're good when it comes up to your knowledge, right? This is the vibration, your knowledge. Your knowledge is more truthful. You live with more truth. Therefore, they can't shake you, right? You are coming into your mastery. Therefore, the low-level beings and the low-level attacks have no effect on you. That's what you're coming into, right? But this is what you need out of the situation. This is what you desire out of the situation. Your frequency, right? What you're letting in. The frequency is basically a door open for energy, right? So whatever frequency you're on, you have the door open at that level, and whatever enemy can get through will come through because the door is open. What is your frequency on? What do you desire, right? Because it's gonna come towards you. You're magnetic. This is the magnetic side. So it's the Knight of Wands. And when it comes up to the energy of the situation, is the Page of Wands, and this is on suit. So let's get these 3 signs really quickly. Zodiac signs. I almost forgot it. So at the top of the vibration is Scorpio. On desire, you have, Aries. And on I will, you have Sagittarius. So these are the 3 signs that are coincided with vibration, right? Vibration, frequency, and energy, right? So let's get these cards really quickly. Starting off with these 2. The 6 of Swords and the 2 of Swords. Started off with the 6 of Swords. This is transitioning, leaving behind, and moving on. Now you understand that as you gain more experience, the truth that you thought you knew might have been a lie. But lies are important too, because lies carry you to a direction and a location, a place to be, a way to feel. Because certain times you need to go through lessons, and if you don't feel a certain kind of way, you won't understand it. So yes, God's put us through these things so we can understand the low side of it, the lower vibrational side of the lesson. Then when you come to understand that completely, that's reaching rock bottom. You reach rock bottom, you understand it completely. Now you can build on top of that, because that's the truth of the situation. Rock bottom is the truth. That's something to stand on. So when you find that rock bottom, dig into it, and therefore you will be fully founded within yourself. So going from there, you went to the 2 of Swords, and that's difficult choices, indecision, and stalemate. Now the stalemate with what? When it comes to the fight between your mind and your spirit, you're at a stalemate, you're at a cold war. Maybe we shouldn't attack each other, because your mind, your ego, can outweigh your spirit can outweigh your ego. Being too spiritual leaves you in a place of only nurturing and no movement too. So you're growing, there's a reason, but you're being more magnetic to certain things, and it's waiting for it to call to you. There's a reason for it, but that's one part of the process. So that was the Scorpio energy. Next up is, let's get to Scorpio attributes real quick. So Scorpio is the perspective of I know. The house is sex and death. That's the beginning and the end of all things. You know how it's going to start and how it's going to finish. That's sex and death is not exactly what we keep saying it is. It's the beginning through the end. How it's going to work, how it's going to operate. You set things up very well, or you see how you were set up very well, and this is why you don't get set up. It's innately in you. You've experienced these things. You are of the Scorpio energy, right? We're still on vibration. That was vibration. So let's keep going. The fuel for your house is knowledge, naturally. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is experience points to your skills, which give you power. That's the difference. So the focus is judgment and the power is death. The tool that you have is communication as a Scorpio. Communication between these two energies, the spirit and the mind and the soul and the body and all this other stuff, right? You sit at the high perspective, the end of everything. In the beginning, you understand the full scope. The conscience, the regular sense, is touch, right? Because that's where the vibration sits. And the clear sense is tangency. So let's get that. Clear tangency. Clear tangency is clear touching. You may be able to perceive facts about things or people by touching them. So coming in contact with something, it gives you like that psychic knowing. All of a sudden, you just know something. You just do. Oh no, your energy is off after I touched you. So certain people can see it and feel it within the air, in the vibe of the air. But when it comes to the Scorpio, if I shake your hand, I'll know it. And it might be more sensitive. You never know. Sometimes, you read a pulse. It's the same thing. You are the pulse readers. So naturally, you are water element, and the chakra is the throat. And that's the tip of the vibration. So the next up is Aries, and this is I desire. The first perspective is I desire, and this is the house of self. The fuel is severity, right? Severity has to do with Boaz, the pillar of severity. Now, severity has to do with your ability to abstain from something to keep the space for spirit, to abstain from your ego to provide spiritual space. That's the pillar of severity right there. So you do that as an Aries the best. You are the first sign. You are the people who set it, who start everything in the first place. You know how to start it. Even though Scorpio's here, you know how to start it. Scorpio doesn't start it. Scorpio sees how to start it. Crazy, right? Now, when it comes up to this is offsuit. You can't start the thing because you need water and air in this position. Now, I know that's crazy, right? So the focus is the Tower card, and that's crazy because think of this as an eye. As you go right here, and this is the eyelid. Your spirit, your id, is focused on what your mind can see and process and give to it. But it is the spiritual source power for your mind. So your will is spiritual, your spirit's desire. Your id is your mind's desire. So it works both ways, like an X, like that, right? So moving on, your power is the Emperor card, and your tool is attraction, naturally, because this is desire. You do that the best. You attract it to you. So if you're thinking negative, that's gonna come to you faster than me. It's gonna come. It's just what it is. A clear mind is one of your biggest powers. A clear mind. So your regular sense is pain, and your clear sense is empathy. Now, some people have powers of empathy, and some people sense the empathy better. So this is all one. We are all one. We are pieces of God coming out to this earth and living as that separate piece. And this is why union is important, because God wants to bring the pieces together. Clear empathy or clear emotion is sensing other people's emotions, thoughts, or symptoms. It is an awareness of an emotional energy. As an example, others crying that make you cry. Right. Empathy is also, is not just my definition. I heard it from somebody and it stuck with me forever. He said, your ability to understand somebody's perspective is your sense of empathy, or how high your empathy sense can be. So your ability to see from somebody else's perspective. Oh, I see where you're coming from. That's empathy. That's the power of empathy, to be able to see that. That's the empathetic thing in general, right? So naturally you are fire energy, and the chakra is of desire when it comes up to the vibration. The next energy is Sagittarius, and this is the page of, well, let's get the Knight of Wands real quick. I forgot about it. This is action, adventure, and fearlessness. Now, this isn't a place where you need to attract things. If you're moving too much, if you're not doing what Spirit or God is asking you to do, you're not in line. So this is about being in line. Even though you know how to start the thing, it's about being in line with the funnel, with the flow. So even though you know how to surf very well, you're on the earth. You don't know how to, it won't happen. You're in the air. You can't surf on the air. You can glide on the air, but then you don't have that material. You don't have that tool. God is asking you to surf right now in a place where you're trying to, it just won't work. Being in position is very important when it comes to your desires. You have to be ready to catch it as it comes towards you, right? So the next energy up is Sagittarius, also in vibration, but this is the energy of it. So this energy is on suit, and Sagittarius attributes are I will, the perspective is I will, the house is spirituality, the fuel is mercy, the focus is the wheel of fortune, the power is temperance card, the tool is action, the regular sense is proprioception, that's body awareness. So when you close your eyes and you can feel where your body is, that's the awareness. So that's knowing who you are without even trying. You know who you are, and that's innately within you. So it's not much that people can do to change who you are. But that means that not a lot of people can help change you. You have to be the one to change yourself, right? So this page, let me keep going. The clear sense is clear intellect, so let's get in. Clear intellect is clear thinking. This happens when your thoughts can manifest in your intuitions, as your intuition. You may notice conversations that your words come through, and although seem like thoughts or words from a higher source of consciousness, this can manifest as having epiphanies commonly. So the epiphany mind, oh, I know what to do. Oh, that's what it was for. Oh, I get it now. And what is an epiphany? Basically, your mind circles and becomes a circle. Imagine your mind as a big circle. And as you keep thinking, you add one circle into that big circle, thousands into that big circle. But an epiphany is being able to put a bunch of them at the same time in this one truth. And next thing you know, you don't even have to think about it no more. And that energy that was in your mind can be used for something else. You are best at that. Getting it out of your mind, getting the truth out of the situation, moving with the truth, right? So the Page of Wands, exploration, excitement, and freedom. So you are free to do what you will, but it's up to you to see where you're going. It's important to see where you're going because nobody can stop you. That's also a superpower. Devil can't stop you, the enemy can't stop you. So whoever's in your life that's trying to stop you right now, you can understand how stressed they are. And if you seem like it's a dull, like I don't feel anything, and the other person is giving you heat, then you understand where you stand with the situation and where you've grown. Because as I said before, you love them to the point where the energy that you gave to them is now being given to yourself. So therefore you're trumping the situation, right? So yeah, the next universal law is polarity, and this has to do with Leo. Now, let me get this card real quick. I'm gonna get these two right here. No, I'm gonna get the Leo first. So that's a lot that came out just now. I can't even, like, it's too many. Okay, Five of Pentacles. Now, this is in a place of air, and this is earth, so it's off suit. So let's get the Five of Pentacles before I get the attributes real quick. So this is need, poverty, and insecurity. So the reason why this shouldn't be here is because this is the place for earth. And if more energy is over here, that means you don't have the space to think, do anything. It's like your manifestations or the things that are manifested in front of you to use, it's like it's lacking. So you think that when you achieve it, when you get these things, that it will fill that void. What you're after or what you were after before wasn't going to fill that void. The only thing that fills that void is air. Air fills this space. Your mental, your mind, clear-mindedness fills this space because that's where your heart lies. Your heart lies within the clearest. I know when this app comes out, everything I'm explaining will be shown to you. and it's going to be in a kingdom. So if you can understand, God made me king of this place, and when you understand it, I'm designed to protect you. I'm designed to help this situation, for you to see the perspective of where you are right now. So let's get this energy real quick. So this is Leo. Your perspective as a Leo is I love, and as I said, this is polarity in the universal, with the universal laws. So your perspective is I love, or I can say I move, right? Your house is pleasure, the fuel is beauty, the focus is the sun, the power is the strength, the tool is love, the conscience, the regular sense, is taste, right? So when you taste victory, I can taste this victory, or like the key to a man's heart is through his stomach. The taste, that's the love, that's the heart, that's what gets him to move for you. So it's not just food. In a spiritual sense, it's spiritual food. So you can nurture with energy too. We can eat the energy also. So yeah, the clair sense, the spiritual sense, is clairgustance. So let's get this. Clairgustance, or clear tasting, is sensing things through taste, even without having this physical source of the taste in your mouth. So if you just start tasting cheesecake out of nowhere, you could say, okay, why is God making me think about cheesecake? What was it about cheesecake that I like? I'm thinking about this moment right now. Are you meant for me to think about this moment right now, God? So it could be something like that. Or when you come around a person, you taste cheesecake. Maybe they want some cheesecake. Maybe they need a snack. But, it's all messages from your spirit. So you get these messages through your taste buds. So you're probably a foodie. Or somebody who is a Leo that's a foodie. So yeah, moving on is a special location. This is the solar plexus. Now the solar plexus doesn't have any fire in it. It's Gemini, Virgo, Taurus, and Libra. None of those are fire signs, but somehow they make heat because it's pressure. Pressure to do and the pressure not to do. The pressure to think and the pressure not to think. And then when you control these things, you create space, you manifest things, and you tame your conscious self. That's what you're doing with this place. And this is the place of rhythm. So there are 4 signs here. I'm going to get all 4 cards out right now. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the earth cards, because earth falls, correct? So whatever you manifest with this rhythm, it falls into place. And I'll tell you why later. So we're going to get these 4 cards out really quickly. Okay. So this is Taurus, the King of Swords. Okay, that's too many, but let's keep going. Okay. The Sun reverse is Gemini. The Queen of Wands is Libra. Oh boy, so the one that stayed was the King of Pentacles, which is Virgo. Alright, so check it out. There are 2 earth cards here, and as I said before, earth falls. So Taurus and Virgo go into the root chakra. And this energy right here is clear. This energy right here has 2 fire energies, which is Gemini and Libra right here. This one, Queen of Wands, is Gemini. The Sun is Gemini. Libra is the Queen of Wands. I'm getting mixed up, but I know you understand what I mean. I'll put it on the board, or you'll see it. So let's get these 2 cards really quickly that are in the solar plexus. And that's going to be Libra, then Gemini. Let's do Gemini first, since Gemini comes first in the tree of life. So the Sun reverse is negativity, depression, and sadness. Now, this energy is required to be here. This is proper. This is something that's happening to you that's a negative in your sense, but it's proper to have there. Why? Because as God gives you a trial, you get better with a certain skill. And then when that trial is taken from you, the skill goes to certain, directions that you want to go, certain ambitions. So that's the trade-off. And that's what Gemini is talking about right now. So let's go to Libra, which is the Queen of Wands. And this is courage, determination, and joy. Now, these two energies are both on suit. So there's nothing wrong about what's happening. So that means that you are in divine alignment. So it's only a matter of courage, determination, and joy. But this person is sitting down. The Libra is sitting down. The one that's in balance is sitting down. And the Gemini, which sways left and right as the energies of the yin yang, right? They sway left and right, light to dark. And this is funny that it's here right now, because the sun is very important when it comes up to getting you where you need to go, because now the way would be lit up. But it's talking about how the way is not lit up because of certain things that you need to do. It's okay. The Libra card is justice, and justice is right here. The more justice that you have in your life, the more space you have for something that you desire to inhabit your life. So justice, think of it this way. Your mind is clear on the subject. And now, since it is, it acts like fertile land for spirit to go make something with it. So that's what the justice energy is when you have that. And that's very important right now. I don't exactly know why. But let's get the attributes of Gemini and Libra. So Gemini is the perspective of I do, right? Or, well, that's the whole solar plexus in general is I do. But Gemini specifically is I think, right? The house is communication. The fuel is glory. The focus is the magician card. The power is the lovers. The tool is the will. The conscience, the regular sense, is smell, right? And the clear sense is clear salience. So let's get salience real quick. Clear salience or clear smelling insights. The insights come through the perception of smell, such as smelling your deceased grandmother's perfume when there's nobody else around. So imagine if there was a spirit, like, you know how they say sometimes your ancestors come around you when you need them, right? Next thing you know, you'll smell your grandmother, or you'll smell your aunt, uncle, this person, that person. Or it doesn't have to be anybody that's passed away. You can smell something that somebody made years ago, and you'd be like, why am I thinking about this person? Maybe I need to call them. And that's your spirit talking to you when it comes to anything. It's a message. It's all messages, so you can interpret it, but you are the best at interpreting that type of message, right? When it comes to your smell, you know how they say, I smell a rat. You do that the best. You can smell the rat. You know where the rat is. You know where they're gonna hide. So if you have somebody that's portraying that rat in your life, that one that's digging holes and going through your walls and making things unsturdy, making you feel this kind of way, you have to set up traps. But what is a trap for a rat? You know, you have to hold yourself up in an accountable way, but with a certain kind of, well, clear knowing of what's happening at that moment to determine who the rats are. And that's what you're good at. But yeah. Moving on to Libra, which is the Queen of Wands, the perspective is I think, right? Also, but it's the pressure not to think. So the house is relationships. The fuel is victory. The focus is the pillar of severity, as I mentioned before, right? The justice card is the power. The tool is the will. The conscience, the regular senses, smell also. They share it because it's the same solar plexus. And the clear sense is salience also. But the energy of the element is air. And, you know, the chakra is the solar plexus. And we're going to be moving on to the Cancer spot, which is cause and effect. So this is the law of cause and effect, right? So let's get that energy for Cancer right now. And the crazy thing, wow, let's put this up. The Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups is that's equal and opposite energy for the sun, the new day to come. Okay. All right. So let's see this. Let's get the Queen of Cups. So compassion, calm, and comfort in where your feelings are being expressed. So expression is very important because that's basically shooting the gun at something. So it's being used. The energy from the spirit is being used through desire as feelings. So it comes out as through our conscious sense as a feeling. We don't see the spiritual energy. We can determine the feeling though. So that's the link between the spirit and how you register it. So the feelings behind the situation are actually at peace, are actually calm, comfortable to be around, that kind of thing. So the Cancer energy in your life, when it comes up to you being founded or rooted with your emotions, is fine and perfect, dandy. It's not the emotions that's the issue. It's everything else past it. So yeah. So let's get the attributes of Cancer real quick. So Cancer is the universal law of cause and effect. I said that. But the perspective is I feel. The house is the home, right? The fuel is the foundation. The focus is the high priestess. The power is the chariot card. The tool is movement and connection. The regular sense is vision. So naturally, vision. But the clear sense is clairvoyance, is spiritual vision. So we all know what it is, but let's read it. Clairvoyance or clear seeing is the most visual of all the clairs. You receive pictures in the form of images in your mind's eye. They may be vivid dreams, visions, mental images, or mini movies. You may be able to see colors of auras, etc. Images may be literal or metaphorical. So I experience this a lot. There's a lot of daydreams I go under. You know how you go under in surgery, you not even here? I be in a daydream and I be seeing a whole bunch of stuff and I come back out of it and I'm like, what was that for? Sometimes I write it down, sometimes I just keep it with me. But these pictures that come in your mind are messages, literal picture messages. So a picture is worth 1,000 words. So that's the Queen of Cups in your life. That's the energy right there. Moving on to what fell from the solar plexus, which is the earth pieces. Now this is Taurus and this is Virgo. Got it. Had to get it correct. So let's start off with Taurus. It's the King of Pentacles. When it comes in a place of I feel, or basically this is the 7th law of the universe, and that's generation, right? So this is I am generation. This is where your fears are. Let's get this. King of Pentacles. And this is on suit. Abundance, prosperity, and generosity. Now, with your actions and your rhythms, you will have prosperity. So keep doing what you're doing. You're doing the right thing. And the impatience of it it's almost like you're anxious. And the anxiety is 2 parts. You can have negative anxiety or good anxiety. You're anxious for the new beginning, or you're anxious about what could happen to you. But the thing is, it's not about what could happen to you. You're already prepared for that because you've been through those cycles, timeless, and you've had the epiphanies, right? You've had the epiphanies. And what's going to happen with this? So let's see. That was the Taurus card, right? So let's get the Virgo card, which is the King of Swords. That's naturally off suit, but the Taurus energy right here is the one that is going to stabilize the fear. So the Virgo is in the mind, but the Taurus is sitting pretty. So King of Swords, head of a heart, discipline, and truth. Now, the head of a heart, as I said before, is the worst decision to make. A head of a heart is a decision through your ego. You have to have a heart over head decision. The heart is in the middle between the gut and the mind. Well, in the mind, right? So it's, your gut senses, like, that's a part of the reptilian, I want to say the reptilian brain, right? The mind is a part of the consciousness and the ego, but your heart is in the middle of both of those aspects, and that literally is the translator where they want to take control of. Your mind wants to take control of your heart space, and your spirit wants to take control of your heart space. But you, being the temple, control that. Balance is in order. So we're gonna get that real quick, but let's see. It says discipline and truth. You work with truth. So even though, as this is the Virgo energy, right? So the Virgo energy is about pure intention. Even though you would like to operate within pure intention, you can't do operations because you're in a place of manifestation. So manifestation happens when you're still. It happens when the divine feminine is taken over. It happens when your mind is only doing what the spirit says. It can happen through meditation too. Your mind is blank. Your mind is empty. Your mind is filled with nothing. And what is the definition of faith? Faith is the belief of nothing, nowhere, and nobody. Because when you believe in those things, you understand that that's God right in the background about to turn nothing into something for you. So you believe in nothing, nowhere, and nobody. Anytime that you think of nothing, like I have nothing, I have nowhere, I have nobody to turn to, I have nowhere to go, that's God asking you, are you ready to believe in me? You can see me. You can see nothing. You can see that nothing is here. Watch it work. Would you like to see my power in your life? So you're at that moment. You're about to see God work. And it's going to look like miracles because it's going to be so obvious. Like, because you have nothing and then something comes in your life. What's this? You have no like knowledge of anything else. It's the only thing in your life. So it's like God has to put you in a place where you're alone to understand God's power, because there are so many distractions. I know they said distractions before. So yeah. So that was the first 7 general principles of the universe. We're going to go to 8 and 9 real quick, right? The 8th general principle is care. And I created a 9th one, but I know it's 9 because 9 is the leading number in the universe. You're not going to say that there's not 9 principles. And I think I have it here somewhere, but I don't technically know, right? But yeah, the 8th general principle is care. What is care? Care has to do with Ophiuchus, however you say it. Now that's the sign that NASA just revealed, but we always knew it was here. You have 13 months in a year, right? So it was always there. The sign was always there. So Ophiuchus, this is the actual place for you. Ophiuchus is about the mother energy, the pure mother energy, like the mother workers. It's like that's where your energy is tied to. Care. You are the ones who fix the issue. So yeah, it's about being Ophiuchus is the serpent bearer. Now things that bear are feminine, and that's how I know it's of the divine mother. So it's the serpent bearer. So it's about that mother energy. That's how I know. So yeah. But yeah, we're gonna use these cards when it comes up to care. Why? Starting from the crown, we have the King of Cups, that's good. We had the Tower card, that's good. We had the Ace of Pentacles, that was off. So what you need, you're not getting what you need. Going from there, what you will, the things that you can do a lot of things and you're ready for it, but you don't have what you need to get where you're going. So that's the issue. So from there, since you don't have what you need, do you technically know what you desire? And that's not true. You don't know what you desire, or what you desire is in conflict. And because of that, you do not have the necessary space, because you don't know what to you don't know what to put aside, you don't know how to let things go, you don't know what to let go. But it's all going to become more, okay, these two came out on the Ace of Pentacles. So Judgment and the Hanged Man, jeez, both water energies. So yeah, and that cleared that energy. But I hope you can understand where this energy is going. Everything else is on suit, so everything else was good. It's just what you need, what you desire, and what you love that's in question for you right now. Everything else is things that you have handled and you're just waiting for it to finish, waiting for the cycle to be closed, because you know there is a factor of time. Alright, so but the first energy that was clarified, the 2 came up again. Alright, so the next energy is I desire, and the Star and the Tower came up again. So 4 major arcana cards came up, and this is a whole new deck of cards. right? That's crazy. I don't control this. I don't even have the mental space too. This keeping up with this is something that is a task too, but I'm getting used to it. I'm getting used to it. A lot of the pieces is becoming second nature. Let me see. Okay, I thought it was something in there, but it wasn't. So let's continue. Let's just finish so we can understand where this went. Alright, went from 5 of Pentacles to the 4 of Pentacles. Nope, too many. Okay. To the Queen of Wands, which already came out before. And fire and air support each other, so that's a good sign. So we're getting somewhere with this. Oops. I'm gonna take this one. The 10 of Cups, and what were these two? Alright, so this is another 10, and this is the Death card. So I'm gonna take these two, because the 10 on 10, that's a sign right now. And I'm gonna explain this. So, what just happened? Basically, every card that I put down represents the time and energy required to fix this issue. So, of course, this is an assumption, but as they say, coincidence is the hand of God. So this is all coincidence. But yeah. So let's start off with the first cards that were clarified. The energy of Bina, your Earth star, the dark energy of the third eye, right? It started off with the Ace of Pentacles and went to the Hanged Man. Let's get this. So sacrifice, release, and martyrdom. The sacrifice is the sacrifice of the ego. And that's what's hanging upside down. You're allowing spirit to do certain things, and it's required you to see it in an inverted manner, because you know how they say men and women are like two completely different species at this point, right? So is it the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Two totally different energies that work with each other in a function. So when the masculine decided to abide by what the spirit is asking, that's what caused the perspective shift. So that's what that's about. And that's the Hanged Man over what you believe was coming after you. So God had to turn you upside down. God had to flip your perspective and thinking that it was going to come towards you to what it's going to be now. You were going to decide judgment, and that's on this side right here. Judgment is right here on from the solar plexus to Malkuth, right? Judgment. I'm going to do these things because now I defined the issue. Now I formulated a plan. And that's what this is about. So a spiritual plan is coming towards you. As I said before, major arcanas are above this board. So it's something given to you to help you out. So like I said, blessings are coming your way when it comes to your what you need out of the situation. It's coming towards you. Don't worry about that. Just be ready. Prepare. That's how you basically make your bag bigger for the money that's coming in there. So you have to have the bag for the bag to come in, right? This is the time to make that bag. So in the place of desire, it started off with the Knight of Wands. That was that adventure, but you're restless instead of allowing spirit. So it's not easy to do, and that's recognized. And God recognized that allowing your spirit to take over is not easy to do, because you're actually venting and projecting these emotions. You're projecting them. You're projecting these feelings, and sometimes they affect people. And this is why you're alone in the first place, because you can't affect nobody when you're alone. This way you can freely learn who you are without any consequence. So yeah, God pushes you away from people so you don't harm either. So yeah, it went from there to the Tower energy. Now the Tower came out over here in the whole world of basically where you're going, right? Your crosshairs, your direction, the route that you're taking. So you desire the route that you're taking. And this energy right here is fire. This is still off suit, right? But you know, you consciously know it, but you are becoming more willing. And what happens when you do that? The star appears. You are the star. The star is formed. Every day a star is born. You understand? And it only takes for you to just make that decision to go ahead. There are people in your life that decide to be in your way when you don't need them to be in your way. They just do it. And it's like, it's almost like magic, right? It almost feels like magic because it is. It's spiritual. It's happening and you're magnetic to it. Now, you also magnetic to the lessons too, but you were born for it. You were fit for it. The person you are now is so much stronger than you were when you first got into that situation. You don't know yourself, and that's scary because all of this love kept you rooted. Love to that person kept you rooted. How I didn't need to be so scared of who I was becoming because this person loved me enough for me to say, okay, I'm still a good person. It's like a physical representation of your progress, but that person is not there no more. And also, like I said before, you have this abundant energy that you have to ingest instead of give now. You have to put this, you have to let that energy reside in you because it's going to expand and fill that void. And it's a mental thing. The void is filled with the mind. The mind fills the void, not something physical, and not something emotional, and not something from your ego. Your mental state fills that void. Just like any addiction is your mental state. This is not me anymore. Once you gather that, whatever the addiction is, it doesn't have a hold onto you because your mental state says, I don't do this. Therefore you don't. So sometimes you can lie to yourself to force your mental state to change. You know, how they say, fake it till you make it. Yes, you can lie to yourself. Other people are sent to lie to you too. Because sometimes you don't want to lie to yourself because you see that that's not a truth, right? So God puts people in front of you to lie to you, tell you who you aren't, so you can become that person. Ha! Crazy. And this brings me to the first, the beginning of the message too. Stop trying not to love that person because God sent that person to you. No matter how much you could hate them, it don't matter. God allowed that person to be around you. God is living through you. So the experiences that you are having, God is having them right with you. You think that you won't get your justice from it? There's a reason. You are now a new being. You don't even know your complete true self, but you understand you are always changing and always evolving and growing now because that love, like, you know how when you go out to the party or whatever, you go to the club, you go to the bathroom once, and once you do it one time, you got to go 6 times after that, right? And that's the same thing with love. That energy is like the V card with love. It's always going to come out now. You have to figure out something to do with that energy. All right. So let's get the star real quick. The star was hope, faith, and rejuvenation over the tower. So hope is a good anchor to have, but hope is the anchor of that peace. So at the very least, you hope you can still live peacefully. At the very least, you hope you can still live peacefully. Now that's the protection. That's not the evolution. You are here to evolve. You are not here to just be protected. You are not here to just be sightseeing. You know, if you claim yourself to be, you know, a warrior for God, you are here to make changes on this earth. So you have to be fit for it. That's why you went through what you went through. Don't try not to love that person. You are regretting. You are actually pushing your blessing away. The love that you have now, don't regret it. Don't regret that you can't give it to that person no more. You can give it to yourself, even though it's hard to do. You can. That is a possibility. Therefore, eventually, you know, I'm lying to you right now. You don't really feel this, but you will learn how to control that energy. It's just a matter of time. Yeah. So, the next card, the next position that was off. So, let's say this. When it comes up to duality, the dark side of duality, that was off. When it comes up to what your frequency, that's off. and this is your polarity. The things that are attracted to you, that are in your space that you can use and maintain and things like that, and the space that you can occupy, that's out of whack too. So let's continue from that. It went from the 5 of Pentacles to the 4 of Pentacles, and this energy is still off suit. So let me just do it like this so you can understand it. This is conservation, security, and frugality. Now, before it was need, poverty, and insecurity. Now you're conserving, and you know that there's something else. I don't want to let things go, but I don't want to move forward. I need more time to figure this out, because it's your heart space, and you notice this is how hard you're holding on to them. Not these ones over here that God got you for. This is how hard you're holding on to them. It's like you're not letting go because you believe that if you let go of them, you let go of a piece of yourself. You actually just let go of the funnel. Now they can't eat from you no more, spiritually, energetically. That's all you're doing. So you just have to find a new funnel, a new wave, a new lane. That's it. It's just a new lane for the energy. And it went from there to the Queen of Wands. Now the Queen of Wands is over here in the solar plexus. So what you're doing is matching up with what needs to be done to get over this cycle. The cycle is a hard one because it required a lot of patience. Patience is one of the hardest things to do because it's a stillness within yourself, so things can grow on that stillness. The stillness is the fertile ground, the stable ground. And the more of a sound mind that you have, the more that, as I said before, the more spirit can do. It went from there, let's get the Queen of Wands. Courage, determination, and joy, right? It went from there to the 10 of Cups. And this is inner happiness, fulfillment, and dreams coming true. Now, this is the side of the dream where the spirit lies. This is the side of fantasy. The fantasy is almost always wrong because the dream, that's our mind. We make mistakes. We're human. We can't completely understand. Let's just say that we talk on the phone all the time. Now, imagine spirit talks to you on a sonograph. The tap, 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 doo, 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 right? Imagine, I don't even know if I said the right machine, but whatever. Morse code is the way. Imagine spirit is able to speak to you the Morse code, but you don't even know Morse code. So of course you're going to get some things wrong, but that's okay. You tried. God's going to protect you, bring you to that state of peace again, and you can just start this all over. Peace is like home base. With God, just know you always gonna have that peace. That's there, right? So went from there to the Death card. Now the Death card is on the veil, and what does that mean? I like to call this the skeleton warrior, well, the undead warrior. Why? Because this warrior has no mass. The mass is on the inside, past the bone. You can't break him. You have to break the foundation first. You understand that? Or you can think of it the opposite way. You have nothing left for them to attack, and they only can come after your foundation, which is actually unmovable. So this is why this Death card is so important. This Scorpio energy came out with it, right? That's the Scorpio energy. So your knowledge, your experiences are going to help you transform this space that you need. So went from there to the 10 of Swords. Perfect card to be here. Anytime that people see the 10 of Swords, they say, oh boy, what kind of pain? Yeah, oh, that's my pain. Yeah, okay. What is pain? Pain is basically empathy. So your spirit is talking to you about how you can transform the pain into potential. So you are at your max potential right now before you decide to turn it over, the new leaf, the Hanged Man, and decide to say, I'm going to get out of my own way, right? I'm going to stop what I'm doing. You can't even go nowhere. The swords are rooted into the ground. God says, stay right there. Don't move. This is the mindset to have. And this is the one that's going to transform you. This is the one that you are actually perfect. These 10 of Swords are basically your cocoon. And once you break out of the cocoon, nobody else can do it for you. Once you understand that new mindset, then your wings, then you hatch out of the cocoon, and then you get to understand what you can do, how you can fly, how you can be, how you can manifest all these things. but you're protected from the process that you were in the cocoon for in the first place. So yeah, that's the energy with care. The next and the last part of the reading is the star stream. So what does this have to do with anything? I went down the line from the top of the crown to the root, and on the tree of life you have the line for Kundalini. So the Kundalini dragon, I like to bring out this dragon. I always bring out this dragon, right? This is Thelonious. It got two sides, you know, for the double-sided dragon and all that other stuff, but it represents Kundalini. So yeah, we're gonna go up in experimentation, expression, integration, and transcendence, and therefore you will ascend. And the ascendance is how you evolve. So let's get these 5 red cards out quickly, and they just landed right on it. So you can experiment with nature spirits. We're gonna get into it, but I'm just gonna get the cards down, you know, do face value real quick. So the next card up with expression, how you can express yourself with your feelings, what your feelings mean, what your feelings are trying to get you towards, is a sense of a new life. It's trying to point you towards that new life, right? So you can express new feelings to understand. Well, I'm gonna get to it. Next up is integration with your rhythm. What can you do with the law of rhythm? So the first law was generation. You generate nature spirits. You commune with them and you operate with them. And as I said before, that compound interest. You give them something, they give you something more. You give them $1, they give you $1.10. That's what that means, right? So from there, it went from cause and effect. As you express feelings of your new life, you will kind of paint over everything that was bad before and make it your new life. So there's like new paint going up on the walls. Oh, this is definitely a new house, or at least a new design. I understand that there's a newness around me, right? Okay. The next card is relief in the place of what you can integrate. The next card is message. So I just mentioned the butterfly, right? So message came up. And this is 33. 33 is the master number. The biggest master number. Not the first, but the biggest one. So this is going to be the last card of the reading. Crazy. In the place of I know, Scorpio, the knowledge came up. So this is a heavy Scorpio energy reading. So the energy of a Scorpio is very important here, because your experiences do help you get past the cycle, right? So let's do this really quickly. In experimentation, what you can do, how you can generate more manifestations in your world, is the nature spirits. So elementals, fairies, devas, and other nature spirits request your presence. It is time to venture outside and get into nature and recharge your batteries with the trees, the grass, the mountains, and the desert, I'm hungry, right? And the sea. There's a magic that awaits you when you commune with nature. So maybe there's some natural things that you can consume. Maybe go towards more dielectric or alive foods that are alive. Look for fruits that have a 9 on it, or the higher the number is, the better. The lower the number on that fruit, if it starts with a 1, that's not fruit at all. 5, you could start there, right? 4s, you can understand it. Look up what they mean. So look for the 9s in the fruit. That means it's the most organic, or the healthiest that the fruit can get in the consumption, like in the market. It's the healthiest, besides straight from the farmer's market kind of stuff. But yeah, but the natural foods and fruits and things like that. Next up, in expression, you have new life. This is the place of cause and effect. The arrival of new beginnings, or the budding start of something beautiful and long lasting. Drawing this card can indicate or desire to start over with a sense of childlike wonder. What you are beginning will have a strong impact and a far reach. Drawing this card can indicate positive relationship and or experience. So the experiences that you have, even though you went through them, you're recognizing that they're more positive because of the new expressions that you have. It's like gaining new powers, right? Now you have new powers because of what you've been through. It's simple. And now you can express it. There are new things that you know to do. You don't have to operate the same way before you became that new person. Be that new person, operate as that new person, and your life will reflect the new person that you're becoming. So, relief in the place of integration. So this is the law of rhythm, right? Relief. The end of suffering or hard times, a much needed relief or break in the energy, miracles, rescue, and reprieve. Meditate on this symbol when all seems too much. Feel it blast out the negative as you call in the strength to your heart. So, feel it blast out the negative, right? The negative projections. That's ego. Projection is in the ego. What you think about the past and what you think about the future is a projection. That's all ego, right? So if you relieve your mind, remember those circles, right? The circles that go in your mind that take up that energy, that just leave you in that thought all the time, that's taking up your life. Oh, I'm thinking about this 6 times a day and it's stopping me from doing things. Yeah, that pressure to think about that. The relief that you can express will get you to strengthen your heart. All right, so the next card is transcendence. Transcendence and ascendance is 2 different things, as I said before. Transcendence, I like to use Pokemon. You level up a Pokemon here and they evolve here. So this is us, but we're not Pokemon, right? So yeah, it's message in the place of transcendence. A letter, text, email, vision, dream, conversation, music, or some other form of a message is coming regarding your current situation. Be open to receiving it. Meditate on this symbol to draw a message from your ancestors and guides to you at this time. And this is on the place of the Leo energy, and this is polarity, the law of polarity. So yeah. The next and the last card of this reading is knowledge. So let's get this real quick. And it's almost my favorite message to give to people, because remain teachable. There is new wisdom available to you at this time. This card can signify getting more information before proceeding. All that stagnancy and the reason for that patience is for the information. You have to ingest the information and digest it. You have to understand it has to become a part of you, and that takes time. Time is the ultimate currency, but God gives you all the time to do it. Right? God gives you the time, so God gives that ultimate currency. Don't think that you have to take it from anything. It's given to you as you just go in your divine alignment, right? It can also signify the presence of an important teacher, or perhaps you are the teacher, and it is time to share your knowledge and gifts with the world around you. You go through things, and that's keys for other people. But these keys can be copy and pasted. You understand? So you can give your keys to people. That doesn't necessarily give in the keys to go like inside of you, pause, but it is for them to lock their own door and to disallow the negatives inside. So you can give those keys away. You've been through certain things. You've had your trials and tribulations. So when you get through it, you can teach people to get through it too. We are here to share. We are here to show love, spread love, get people moving, get people in more of a state of love, right? So yeah, that's what we're here for. And if you like this, that was the end of the reading. If you like this reading, I ask you to like, share, and subscribe. Share it with your favorite reader. Share it with your spiritual community, because this is going to be a app for the whole spiritual community with Tarot at the lead, right? So imagine all of your favorite readers in my position on an app doing this for you with everything that I mentioned and all the connections I made here. This is the Zin-Finity Board, so it's almost unlimited. It's infinity, right? So if you are interested in the reading, send me an email and I'll get you the information about that. I'll send you the information about that. With all that said and done, if you are still here, I appreciate you. I would like to know how this affected you, what was going on through your mind when it comes up to this, how this helped you in the situation, or what you can do now from what you know. This is your mind, and you already knew this. I saw it. and I captured the image and given it back to you. So this is why I'm creating this, and this is why I'm here for you. And if you like that, as I said before, like, share, and subscribe. So with all that said and done, I appreciate you. I love you. I'm Kai-Fi. Peace.